your
Good
question.
afternoon,
They are
everyone.
coming to you. You will be the last.
All protocol duly observed. My question, I am Ambassador Eniola Cole. My question is this. One of our speakers on the panel had mentioned how we can get it done in a systematic fashion. And one area that is a lacuna is the area of the wards. We keep saying go to the grassroots to get into politics, but what is the structure for ensuring that there are women even at the ward level, whether it's the council or in the LGA or in the LGC? What is the structure for getting women in there? We mentor students from universities and we have a pool of young women who are interested, but how are we going to get them in there? If at the top we don't have so many women, it means that there is a systemic problem from the grassroots, and we must ensure that we treat it from that angle. Start getting women into the wards, into the LG, so that when it's time for elections, you have people to elect. If not, at the top there will be nobody. So please, let's also, as we push this bill, ensure that we get young women in from the grassroots, and ensure that we also do not jettison God, because it will be an act of God for us to get this bill. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome to Leadership Unscripted. I'm your host, Ambassador Eniola Cole, and today we're focusing on women's empowerment and leadership. Empowering women is essential for achieving sustainable development and promoting social justice. Women's leadership roles have increased significantly over the years, but there's still much work to be done. Our guest today, Beatrice Eyong, is a renowned expert on empowerment, serving as the representative of UNWOMEN in Nigeria. Let's hear what she had to say, especially as it relates to young women rising in leadership.
Okay, I'm Beatrice Eyong, UNWOMEN representative to Nigeria and ECOWAS. I bring into this job 40 years of experience working in different countries. But I started up from a very poor family. I came up from a poor family. My father died. I was very young even to know him. And so I grew up in a female-headed household. And I can't really tell, because at that time I didn't see any woman leader. I didn't know any woman leader to inspire me, but I actually wanted to be a great woman. And so while I was still small, I asked people, that's in primary school, I asked people, where do great men and women graduate from? And they told me, they gave me some schools, but some of the schools were schools that I couldn't, my parents couldn't afford to pay. And so what I did, I decided to choose the government one, because they would not pay much money. But that government one was at the capital. I was in the village. I didn't even know how I would get there. I didn't know. But just my idea was, if I go to that school, then when I get out of school, then I would start following my career. And that's what exactly happened. And from my mother's side, when I was still in primary school, my teachers would come, primary school teachers, meet my mom and say, whatever you need to do, you have to do. This child is very clever. Whether you sell your dresses or whatever. And so my mother made sure that she kept money for me to go to secondary school. Yes, after secondary school, I went to the high school. I left high school. I went straight to a professional school. But I knew I still had to forward my education. So what I did was write to different embassies, challenge them, this is what I wanted to do. So after professional school, I worked for some time, and then I started following a career. But one interesting, I have two interesting people I met in my life. That I've met many people, but two interesting person is when I went for a course in one of our development institutions, West Africa Pan African Institute for Development in Boya, in my country. So I went there for women in development. So when I got there, that woman, Madame Apollonia Kerenge, she was a Tanzanian. What she taught us there transformed my head, changed. I was doing agronomy, but it changed totally my direction. So I came to realize, so society is like this because of inequalities. So it's like this because women have structural imbalances, structural barriers. And these are things we can work towards and change them. And I started. When I left that training, I went back to my office and I started integrating gender into what we did. I brought, for the first time, gender, women and development within our training courses. I said that course must go on with the other different courses. And I still wasn't very satisfied. So I followed up with embassies, and that is how I got scholarship to be trained in the Netherlands and the UK. So I arrived when I finished in my master's 1997, and I finished my master's in agricultural extension, specializing in gender analysis and planning, in microfinance, that's why I understand microfinance issues, in management. When I finished in 1997 from the University of Reading, United Kingdom, I had the opportunity, I had money to continue my doctorate degree. But I also thought of the women I've left behind. Because if I continued, my government and the UK were the ones who funded me, and they wanted me to go back and work. But I had money to remain and do PhD. But if I did it, then I would lock many chances for other women, because they will say women, when they send them, they don't come back. So I had to go back to bring up other women from different sectors. And that is how I moved to the UN. I started working with the UN in 1999. But I want to tell you that I have always gone away, come again to the UN, go away, come again to the UN. You see, what is interesting for me working with the UN is I find there is integrity, there is a true fight against corruption, there is our objectivity, our neutrality, our desire for results, our desire for leaving no one behind. So it's an ethical organization that I find it comfortable to work with than working with the organizations where you can't really get results because the systems are broken. So I had to come back to the UN. So that is how my journey from primary school back to where I am. I've been with UNWOMEN before even UNWOMEN started. I was with UNIFEM, and I've worked in a couple of countries. And what I do in those countries is, what helps me is that every country I go, I fall in love with the people, and I listen to the people, and I work with the people. So that makes it difficult for me to make errors, because I'm always listening to what they're saying, judging with my experiences and the rules and regulations of the United Nations. So it helps me. I'm very happy to say that I have seen lives change through the activities that we carry out. So UNWOMEN has been a vehicle for me to accomplish my own personal desire, because my life is adding value to people's life. If I meet you, I can never leave you without adding value. Whosoever you are, I will add some value to your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Beatrice Eyong, for your enlightening thoughts. Your work empowers women globally, and we are so happy to have had you on the show. Stay tuned for more inspiring conversations. It's been Leadership Unscripted, and I've been your host, Ambassador Eniola Cole. Bye for now.